Okay, I found this table at the thrift store. Cost me $5. I'm going to paint it because I don't know if you can see, it's got a lot of loose veneer on the top. There's a lot of, I don't know if you can see these bubbles. So I need to peel off all the areas where it's not sticking down. And then probably gonna have to put a filler in, and then I will paint it. And then I'm gonna use an IOD paint inlay on the top. After I started removing some of this veneer, I realized that I was going to have to remove all of it. It did remove fairly easily with a heat gun and a putty knife. Okay, now I can see why they put a veneer on the top. There's this funky knot hole, but as you can see, it's coming up fairly long strips. So now I don't feel so bad about painting over it. After removing all the veneer, I used some wood filler on the blemishes and then gave it a quick sand. After I was done sanding, I gave it a few coats of white chalk paint and then let that dry. I then put another coat of paint over the top and placed my inlays on top of that, then spritzed it with water and let dry. To remove the inlays, I spritzed it again with water and then slowly peeled the paper off. I did get my paint a little too thick in a couple of areas, but overall I'm okay with the results. For my next project, I'm using some of these cube boxes from Dollar Tree, along with some scrap wood and the shell of a leftover clock. I glued the boxes together using wood glue and hot glue. I then glued the pieces of scrap wood to the outside, again using wood glue and hot glue, and while that was drying, I painted the inside and outside of the boxes with the heart cutouts. For the feet, I'm using these wood dowel caps, and I just use hot glue to attach them. I then glued the clock to the top of all the boxes and then painted the whole thing with some chalk paint. To fill the space where the clock mechanism was, I made a rosette out of resin and glued it to a wood circle and then glued it into the hole. For the boxes, I stamped some birds and text onto the sides and then glued some scrapbook paper onto the inside bottom and on both sides where the heart cutout is to cover it up. To finish it, I used some clear wax and then some antiquing wax over that, and then just added some stamped number tags in the drawer pulls. I put this project last because it's not home decor related and you won't have to watch it if you choose not to. I found this magazine stand at the thrift store and had a totally different project in mind for it, but when my granddaughter seen it sitting in the garage, she tried to bring it into the house saying it was her baby's bed, so I changed directions and made it into a bed. I removed all the dowels in the center divider and then cut down one of the ends and then added some pieces of scrap wood to the sides.
To cover up the 1980s heart cutouts, I used a couple of the IOD resin frames that I had made previously and just glued them over the top of the cutouts on both sides. I then painted the entire thing pink and decoupaged some unicorn pictures onto the frames because my granddaughter wants everything to be pink and have unicorns or rainbows. I then finished it with some white wax to tone down the Pepto pink color. I decided to take it a step further and made her a small doll-sized quilt. I chose to do a simple sawtooth star, so I cut enough pieces to make 2 quilt blocks and quickly pieced them together. Here I'm just squaring up my blocks, and then I'll sew the sashing strips along the outside of the blocks. Now I'm just putting the backing fabric, quilt batting, and the quilt top together, and then I'm just going to do a simple all over, kind of like a meandering squiggle pattern. I like doing this type of quilting because it's like doodling with thread. Now I'm just squaring up the sides again, and then I'll just sew the binding on and it's all done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you again for watching.